Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to New Gameplay Today. I am Alex Stadnick, and I am honored to be joined by the RPG Queen, Kim K-Star Wallace. Hello, Kim.
Hello. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm so good. What are we playing today, Kim?
We are playing Chrono Cross, or Chrono Cross, depending on, there's a lot of debate over how you say it. I'm a Chrono girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
My dumb boy brain has only ever heard Chrono. I don't know if I've heard of, what did you say, Chronal?
Chrono, like chronology.
Yeah, time. Yeah.
Yep.
So we're playing the remaster today. The footage you're seeing is on Switch. It's available on other consoles, but we're playing it on the Nintendo Switch here. And Kim, you've gotten to put some time into this, and you're a fan of the original game. Is that correct?
I don't love it the way I love Trigger, but that's another thing with this game. If you went into it expecting, a sequel to Chrono Trigger, one of the greatest RPGs of all time. It's up there as it might be, as I always say, it's my old school number one, actually.
Okay.
This was a little disappointing because it's not really a direct sequel. But that being said, a lot of people had those expectations for it to be like that game. And Cross is not a bad game by any means. It is a very good RPG, but it doesn't quite hit the same notes for me. But it was really cool at the time because you had this huge cast of characters, like over 40 party members you could recruit. You had different paths. There were parallel worlds. It was a big theme of it, and it was just, the battle system was fun. It's really good to play. So this remaster includes, obviously, the 3D models, as we can see here, have been converted to HD. Some better character illustrations, higher quality background music, which Cross has one of the best, and I will go down saying this, soundtracks of all time by our man Mitsuda. So
I agree. I guess I can't agree with the all time, but I was noticing in the first 2 hours, I was like, oh,
it's good.
This kind of slaps. I'm into this. Yeah.
Yep. And, this is just like the other games that Square has remastered, where you can switch enemy encounters on and off. Not that the game has random encounters, you can see them on the map, but just in case you get lost and you're like, I don't want to be fighting anything, you can do that. There's an auto battle function. You could change the screen resolution. And
to be clear, was that available in the original, or is that new to the remaster?
Okay. This is all new to the remaster when I'm listening. And also what's new is we finally get to play Radical Dreamers, and this was a text-based side story to Chrono Trigger. And it was released in, 96, a year after. But what it really did was placed the foundation for Chrono Cross. The writer, Masato Kato, he cited his desire to redo Radical Dreamers properly as the genesis for Cross. So it's a good history lesson. These are where some of the ideas for Cross started. The characters like Surge Kid and McGill are in it, and you get to see all that. So, I will say, going back to it, it is very much a 96 text-based adventure. Right. Don't expect anything mind-blowing, but it is a good history lesson. So I've enjoyed that we at least got something a little extra that never came to North America before, in this package. But see, as we're walking here, I love the vibrant world. I love just how the enemy designs are
they're so good.
They're so good.
Yeah.
It really did. A lot of those Square RPGs who just had even with the Mana series, just had that pop with color and good enemy designs of the early 90s. But going back to it, this was late 90s, but going back to it, you will feel like you are playing a PS1 RPG. You can't take that away from the experience. But I think for people who haven't experienced it and always were curious, or those who want to look back and play again, because there are so many different paths and characters you can get in your party on different playthroughs, just depending on what you do. So I've always liked that. And then, we're seeing a little bit of the battle system here.
Yeah, and for me, if you know anything about me, this should not come as a shock to you, but I have not played this game. This was out of my purview when I was growing up, right? I don't even know when the original one came out, but I coming to this pretty fresh as someone who does still like JRPGs, right? I'm not as versed in it as you are, Kim, but like there's definitely enough stuff to keep my interest without that nostalgia. I think like you hit on the creature design is fantastic, the music, and I like that you can speed the combat up if you want to. But I do think the system is interesting, right? I like the percentages there. It feels, there's a section that I cut out of the footage here where you talk to the village leader or whatever, and he kind of does a combat tutorial with you.
Yep.
My head was spinning a little bit. I was like, wait, there's elemental colors and the field effect up there. I was like, wait, what is...
And there's so much that goes into those colors, right? Because you gotta keep track of the element that's used, like in the upper corner of the battle screen. And if it's purely one color, characters are able to like release like powerful like attacks. And so are you. But to counter that, you could also use colors that are different to kind of weaken the elements of the opposite colors. So there's just like, there's a lot of flexibility to it, a lot of different ways you can kind of use that to your advantage. I liked, at the time, even I was like, this is more complex than just your normal like turn-based combat, active battle system, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Look at that. But I will say, yeah, I think people who are watching this probably noticed the frame rate isn't great.
Yeah.
It's been a constant issue. I know some people have gotten a little sick off of it who have played.
Yeah.
Square did note there would be a day one patch on the Switch for launch day, but it said the update's really just going to consist of like some minor text-based changes, so it wouldn't really affect gameplay. But oh boy, this battle is very memorable. In this whole scene right here. But see, the frame rate is just like, it's a PS1,
right?
But still,
it's don't come to this expecting. I mean, this should be a duh, right? This isn't like FF7 remake or anything like that. It is like you said,
standard remaster.
Yeah, and is it? To me, it's. The first 2 hours I've played of it is fun and feels like probably the best way to play this now if you want that history lesson, because I grew up always hearing about how great like Chrono Trigger was, and then listening to Joe Juba about how great Chrono Cross was and whatnot. And I was telling Kim off air, right? Like I was like, the beginning's a little sleepy. It was like, okay, like this kind of feels like Kingdom Hearts, but without characters I recognize, right? But then, the story starts to shift a little and the mystery starts to pop up. I guess I won't spoil anything. And I was
got
like,
some Destiny Islands flashback, didn't
for
you?
real. Well, they even got, even in the combat encounters, you got the tilting camera swooping in. I'm like, oh, let's go. Yeah, villainous guy with long silver hair. Yep, I feel this. So it definitely has done enough to catch my interest. Will I stay with it? I don't know, but I don't think this feels like a totally just like history lesson in the way where it's like, oh well, I have to play this because everyone talked about it, right?
Yeah,
like I enjoyed the start of it. I'm curious to see how much more I play of it, but that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of the newbie perspective. And Salt here goes into a bit of the like you talked about the different colors and how they work together and how
they make sure you understand it. So if you're sitting here being like, I don't quite get it, like the game does give you enough tutorial to get the hang of it. And it's not as like, I don't think it sounds that complicated, but if it does or it feels that way, it's not as complicated as it may appear to some.
That's good.
I had friends
my
back
head
in
was
the day.
Spinning.
Yeah, that's exactly. I had friends who felt like that in the back of the day, and was just like, I can't play this.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I'm like, well, you're missing out because it's really cool. But I understand it takes some time if you're not used to it.
Right. God, for sure.
This is bringing me back.
Yeah, right. I do think having it on the Switch, even though like we're seeing technically it's not like amazing, right? I do feel like that's a good spot to play it just because of the portability of it. Like I'm gonna go to bed, but I'm not super tired yet, so I'm gonna play like an hour laying down. Like this feels like a good, I don't know. That's my kind of vibe for some of these older games. So
I couldn't imagine putting this on a big screen. I would think it would look even worse.
Right.
So for me, it's like, I've been playing it on Switch. Probably gonna keep it that way. Right. But it's been a fun look back, because I'll tell you why Joe Juba likes this game. He likes this game the way I do, with any game there you can recruit characters, and that branches off by those decisions. Pretty cool. And we had Suikoden was around this time as well. And that was fun, but this actually really branched off, whereas Suikoden had those 3 basic endings, so this was just really cool, and you get different characters with different playthroughs too, which is really cool as well.
Do you have a favorite character, or has it been too long?
Oh man, it's been too long. I think I like Kid. I'll always like Kid. Yeah. But
Kid was instant personality, especially next to Surge, who is a voiceless hero type of mentality. So
that's what's cool about the text-based adventure, is that it stars Kid. Basically, you have this infiltration that's carried out by Kid, and then you're aided by Surge.
Cool.
And then you make dialogue choices through text, and that impact the story. So still has the same essence of what makes these games fun, and that was Trigger did the same thing, where you just had different endings. This was really big with the parallel worlds, though. I remember that being really cool. And seeing the differences between them. I won't spoil anything for people who haven't played it. But I think they have a lot to look forward to if they're looking forward to it, especially getting to play maybe Radical Dreamers a little bit and see kind of how the ideas were already kind of weaving for this in Masato Kato's mind.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, I think that's a good look at the Chrono Cross remaster coming. If you want to learn more about it, head over to GameInformer.com. And if you love previews of the biggest upcoming games, you're in the right place, because New Gameplay today, we have a ton of great stuff looking at some of the biggest games of 2022 and more. So, Kim, thank you so much for doing this video with me. Viewers, thank you so much for watching. Be good to one another, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.